All right, so I'll give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. This read this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, of whom you trust. If I had to believe Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Psalms 78 and 67, and then Psalms 137. Moreover, he refused the tabernacle of Joseph and chose not the tribe of Ephraim, chose the tribe of Yehudah, the Mount Zion which he loved. He built his sanctuary like the earth which he established forever. He chose David also his servant and took him from the sheepfolds. From the ewe, following the ewes great with young, he brought him to feed Jacob, his people, and Yasharal his inheritance. So he fed them according to the integrity of his heart and guided them by the skillfulness of his hands. So, of course, now we're going to make a transition. We just read that because that's where we've been at. Psalms 137 will be the psalm of focus at this juncture. Psalm 137. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us sing us the songs of Zion. So let's pause and let's look at some of that stuff because there's words that are not there. Number one, we're going to look at required, which is to ask, to inquire of. Y'all know what song is. We'll see what word they use for song. And it's sir. You got carried away captive, which is sabah, wasted us, which is tolal. Tolal in this particular verse is tormentor or plunderer or oppressor. Now, of course, do y'all recall what we looked at last night in Luke? Because I know I mentioned that for DC that we got to take a look at something. So let me go ahead and do it now. Hit this at the top of the line. Ezekiel Chapter 4. Now, of course, Ezekiel Chapter 4 is not referring to the entering into Babylon. This is after the fact, and we're going to have to go to Ezekiel Chapter 1 to establish that matter. Ezekiel Chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Kibar, the Shamahims were open, and I saw visions of Elohim. In the 5th of the month, it was the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity. So let's go ahead and deal with that person there, because I think I was close to mentioning him last night, and I didn't do so, because we weren't going to have time to do it. So, of course, this is Jehoiakim. This is Yahuwah establishes. This is what the name is. This is Jehoiakim's son. We'll get to him in a minute. That's the son that got skipped. We're in verse 3. The word of Yahuwah came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzai, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kibar, and the hand of Yahuwah was there upon him. So where are they located, Michael? Where is he located? No, where's Ezekiel located? Where does it just tell you that Ezekiel is located? Do you know who the Chaldeans are? Those are the Babylonians. Shalom, man. So when you see this, Ezekiel is in Babylon. Just so you know that this is after what occurs in Jeremiah. I want you to come to Ezekiel chapter 3. I want you to look at what he warns these people at. I want you to sit back and he's going to tell you again where he is located. Ezekiel 3 and 15. Then came to them of the captivity at Tel Abib, and dwelt by the river Kibar, and I sat where they sat, and remained there astonished among them 7 days. Let's look at Tel Abib so you can see where that's at. Of course, you should be able to tell that is a Babylonian city. Tel Abib, mound of the flood. This is a city in Babylon. This was where Ezekiel dwelt. The Kibar is off of the Euphrates River, if you would. Verse 16. It came to pass at the end of the 7 days that the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, I made you a watchman unto the house of Yasharal. Therefore, hear the word in my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him not warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at your hand. Yet if you warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but you will have delivered your soul. Now, this go back to what we were mentioning before we even cut the camera on. When you see dudes, man, and they talking about all this other stuff that they be talking about, that ain't warning nobody that their life is in danger. So this is why a lot of people who that well, y'all know the prevailing theory. Most Hebrews feel like every Hebrew man ought to teach the word, and the book don't say that nowhere. Never in the history of this people has it been a mandate that every Hebrew who know he a Hebrew supposed to teach the word. That's pure and utter stupidity. Because just because you know you something don't mean you have the requisite skills or the inspiration of the Almighty to be able to officiate in such a vocation. Because if you do it wrong, not only are you going to hell, but you carrying everybody else to hell who listen to you. And I don't think dudes really consider that. If you wrong, you not see. It's one thing if you wrong by yourself. It's another thing if you spread your disease. If you spread your disease of stupidity, that's a dangerous course of action. And of course, we live in a world where everybody just is ready and able to spread the disease of stupidity. We don't need the rest of Ezekiel chapter 3 because that goes into warning the man of what's going to happen to him if he don't listen. Of course, he said if you warn a righteous man and he doesn't and he goes off and does what he wanted to do, well, I'll read you that part. What it is, about verse 19. Yet if you warn the wicked and he turn not from his wickedness and from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but your soul you have delivered. Again, when a righteous do turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die because you have not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he have done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at your hand. Nevertheless, if you warn the righteous that the righteous sin not, and he do not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned, and also you have delivered your soul. See, that take you back to the garden, because Yahuwah warned the righteous. So therefore, when they sinned, that blood was on them. Do you understand how that worked? And that happened in the garden. Did Yahuwah not warn them what was going to occur? He said, if you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. So the righteous had been warned. Now, this is the question. How were they righteous? According to the text. Let's see if you can remember that. How were they righteous? Lil Muffin, I see you over there. How would you know that Adam was righteous? But I mean, how do you know that? Well, you can't explain that. So I'm really waiting for one of these gentlemen here to explain. I could see why you would say that. I see why you would say that. The verse that's in my brain is what Paul wrote to Timothy, where he say what? The righteous have no need for the law, because the law is for whoremongers and sinners. Right. So because we know that the tree of knowledge of good and evil was the law, they were righteous because they had no need for law. You understand? That way your answer was correct, but you wouldn't be able to sit down with somebody and say, let me explain that to you. You would have to pass that baton off. You know what I'm saying? So also, what we like to see, because we were talking about this, what it was we were listening to. Oh, they were talking about is people should continue to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? Like after, shalom, man, after you get healed from whatever trauma you got going on. And the women on the panel was like, you should always go for maintenance. But the first thing come to my mind is what the Lord told them people. And I believe that's Luke 5:32, if my memory serves me correctly. He that is whole don't need a physician. So if you whole, what you need a therapist for? That means you ain't whole then. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the point. And that's the point of Adam. They were whole, so they didn't need a physician. They only needed a physician once they began to no longer be whole. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't become whole. And I was talking to somebody about this last Sunday, matter of fact. Okay, yeah, he followed his wife, but of course, you know, he said that to set a pattern of him dying for his wife. But that also shows a pattern on the natural side that as a man, you should never follow behind a woman over what your purpose is. That your purpose should come before that woman. That you should never love a woman to that point.
Lot showed you that. You ain't turn around with
him. Lot definitely showed you that. Because his wife turned around and Lot kept going. You know what I'm saying? Because Yahuwah's word was more important than his wife. Like I told you, I seen it again this morning when they were talking about a woman talking about you need a man who love you more than you love him. See, that's folly. See, because if you get you a man that love you more than you love him, you got a man who's obsessed with you. And a man obsessed with you is not a good thing because he's going to kill you and anybody associated with you. You know what I'm talking about? You play with it. You find a man who love you like that nigga going to kill you. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a nigga who going to be like that Zach Stacy nigga and think it's cool to pick a woman up and throw her through the TV and then body slam her through some baby toys. You know what I'm saying? That's where that come in at. I done told you that before. That is an emotional attachment, and nobody ever in life should be emotionally attached to anyone. You know what I'm saying? Not no man and no woman, because I'm telling you, boy, women don't, you don't want no man to be emotionally attached to you, I promise you, because if he don't kill you, he gonna kill himself. You know what I'm saying? That's how them niggas be. I remember some years back, dude was feeling like that about his old lady, she left him, and that nigga went in that salon and shot her and a nigga next to her. Oh, yeah, seen that. That was wild. You know what I'm talking about? Walked right in there, shot her and the lady next to her. You know what I'm talking about? And walked right on up out of there. Yeah, you don't want no nigga like that. Because that ain't good. Because the nigga who get like that, because we were reading about, y'all don't know who Ted Bundy is, dude. Y'all know who Ted Bundy is then?
It's a white boy. Killing all them people.
Oh, you know how many people he killed?
Good answer.
You don't know who?
One too many.
Huh? Oh no, that crack ain't had no wife.
You got the wrong cracker.
Wrong cracker.
He got. That was Jeffrey Dahmer, but he was hitting. He was raping little boys. Yeah, they say he was handsome. He had 40 bodies he confessed to.
That's just what he
See, we were talking about that because I was telling about Danny Rawlins. Y'all probably don't know who that is. He was killing chicks at UF in 1990. Shoot. About after, because I think Ted Bundy got executed in 89. See, Ted Bundy liked to kill them and then have sex with their dead bodies.
What's that? Necromancy?
No, they say he was into something else. That he liked to get them throughout all the way up to the point to where the tissue would no longer attach to the corpse and he couldn't have sex with him no more. You know what I'm saying? He liked to go that far with it. You know what I'm talking about? But see, I'm mentioning this for a reason because what we were reading about him and Danny Rawlins is they had extremely negative interactions with their parents and especially with their mothers. You know what I'm talking about? And then that played out into how they interacted with women. You know what I'm talking about? Like Danny Rawlins hated his daddy, tried to kill him. Daddy lost his ear and an eye. But he said daddy used to beat him, said, I wish you were never born. I hate you, you punk bastard. You know what I'm saying? They say with Ted Bundy, his mama remarried and her husband adopted him and tried to treat him as his own son. And guess what Ted Bundy said? You're not my daddy. You don't make enough money and you an idiot. This is the stuff, unfortunately, what a lot of dudes talk about when they say that they would rather not marry a woman with children, especially considering the age and especially with a boy. Because that junk different. Because as a boy get older, that nigga know, I don't know what my dad at. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's a physical bond that's just a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? Does that happen 100% of the time? No. But you know what I'm talking about? But then you just seeing this here because it said his mama was a whore, she doing this, doing that, and they take all that vitriol and that anger that they got out on women. So when you got young men and you tell them you need to do this here with a woman, you need to do this here with a woman, that's why they get broken down. Then they get obsessed, then they get attached, then they want to kill. You know what I'm saying? When you should just tell them, son, get you some money, get you some education, find yourself something to do. Don't worry about a woman. I'll take care of that for you. Because, boy, if you don't want no man to be obsessed with you, I promise to you, he going to kill you. If he don't kill you, he going to beat you. I'm trying to tell you. Shoot, if not both. I ain't being funny. I'm dead serious right now. I'm talking about throughout the course of my adult life, any man who I'd have ever seen who was obsessed with a woman, it did not work out well for that woman in the long run. You know what I'm saying? She was either mentally, physically, or emotionally abused, if not killed. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. Because that's the nigga he want to know. Like this here, like, nigga, if you sleep for too long, where you at, ho? You know what I'm saying? And not on some junk like, hey, man, where you was at? I tried to call your phone. No, that nigga coming through the door, kicking doors off the hinges, screaming and hollering. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You think he love me, girl? No, they like, no, that nigga crazy. That nigga don't love you. You just don't know what it's like. You ain't never had no. See, your man don't do you like that. Next thing you know, she coming back. She got the steak on her eye. He done punched in it. I'm telling you, man. That trying sound cool. I'm telling you, the internet, the more horrible thing. The internet was bad for the word, and it was bad for interpersonal relationships because you got a lot of lonely women telling a lot of women some bad information on what to do, and they soak it up. Put a little memes up there. Yeah, girl. No. Don't do it. Don't listen to him because you're going to be in a body bag. Ezekiel Chapter 4, verse 1. Don't be in no body bag. He said, you son of man, take you a tile. What did I say? A tile? I didn't say that. Take you a tile and lay it before you and portray it upon the city, Jerusalem. Let's look at tile. Let's see what that is. That's a brick, pavement, labanar, portray. Let me see if that's panim, if that's what we're going to get. No, we got something else. We got kakak, that's to cut out and to inscribe. Take a brick and inscribe it or decree a law in the face of Jerusalem. Lay siege against it and build a fort against it. Cast a mount against it. Set the camp also against it and set rams against it round about. Moreover, take you unto you an iron pan and set it for a wall of iron between you and the city. Set your face against it. And it shall be besieged, and you shall lay siege against it. This is a sign to the house of Yasharal. Pause and come over here to Luke 19. You ain't lying, Sean. Misery do love company. Now, again, let me ask y'all this question. We ain't got to it yet. We about to read Jeremiah 39 and some things after that. Was Jerusalem destroyed before or after Ezekiel? Do you know, Mike? Why you looking like somebody offered you cocaine? I ain't offered you no drugs. You ever had somebody offer you some drugs before? And what you did? What they offered you? What kind of friends you got? Explain. Would you like some blow, Michael? I got some blow. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like to sniff it off my boyfriend's penis. That's what they do.
Oh, it's a black girl too. She was a waiter, so.
Y'all say that type of terminology in New York City?
Like a waiter, like
She said a wigger. Who talks like what? This is not 1995.
I thought she said a waiter.
She said a wigger.
They don't know about talk like that. We'll see.
It is. That's wrong.
It's a word. It's a word, but yeah.
She was a swirler.
Oreo.
Oh, she was
She was
mixed.
black and white.
No,
Yeah, she was black and white.
But that's not a wigger.
Yeah, wigger is a white person trying to act like a nigga.
Just talk nigga.
Okay, but let's put that off to the side. Y'all say wigger in New York?
Talk nigga.
Where did you learn that from?
Yeah, I'm gonna say we don't.
I'm different. Because, nigga, I ain't heard nobody say wigger since I got out of high school. Yeah, now you acting wild.
Are you already?
Right?
Now, here's one new white boy that I used to know. He used to hang with my nigga Tiger. And we in the house, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm getting lit, blowing down. This nigga like, here, you want some cocaine? I say, bro, I don't snort, bro. Everybody know I don't snort. You know what I'm talking about? This nigga offered it again. I said, boy, you offer me that coke one more time, boy, and I'm going to slap that junk out your hand, and boy, you going to sleep it up off that carpet, because now I take it as disrespect. You know what I'm talking about? Because now you trying to peer pressure me, nigga, into being a junkie. Nah, I mean, my homeboys used to smoke booms. They ain't never offered me none of that. They ain't never offered no ecstasy pill, no nothing. Them niggas know, man, nigga ain't on that. Want no doggone ecstasy pill, nigga.
But like you asked, where were you at? For you to be officer.
Yeah, where were you?
Still in unfamiliar territory.
Well, the first time.
The first time?
The first time I was offered, it was two different people.
Oh, I thought it was in the same scenario.
The first time I was at work, and the second time I was at work.
Where were you working at?
I was working at a retail store.
So y'all just like to get skied in the back.
Not y'all.
I'm just making sure.
That sounded about right.
That definitely sound about right.
That sounded about right.
I worked at Toys R Us. They definitely was on that. Niggas that high.
Kalisha said before, and that is correct. Jerusalem was destroyed before. Shoot. Ezekiel is before. Well, not before, excuse me. Ezekiel is after. He's after. Jerusalem has already been destroyed. Y'all all aware of that. Who destroyed Jerusalem the first time? Callie, your husband looking at you. He desires you to answer. You can go and sit in the car.
Right?
And pressure bust pipes, so you better get right. Deidre, who destroyed Babylon the first time? I mean Jerusalem, excuse me. The Syrians, you said?
Yeah.
No. Muffin, who destroyed Babylon the first time? You don't know. All y'all need to go get in the car.
You asked who destroyed Jerusalem or Babylon?
I mean, I did the same thing you did. Who destroyed Jerusalem the first time? Who? Go and get in the car.
Oh, I don't know. Who's that?
Who destroyed Jerusalem the first time? That is correct.
Who
Honestly,
said
I was thinking.
Who said it?
Kalisha.
Oh, praise the Lord.
I was thinking.
I thought we just read it last night. They went into captivity into Babylon. Who else would have done it? Do y'all know what Nebuchadnezzar did? He destroyed the temple. Do you not recall? They said it took 46 years to rebuild it.
No, I was thinking about something else.
I see.
I ain't gonna lie, I was
She
thinking about
was thinking about the first captivity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Hey.
My question looking for
Do y'all remember what they did in the temple? They took all the sanctified items, all the gold, burnt the wall down. Remember, that's what Nehemiah and Ezra's whole duty and job was, to rebuild the city.
That's it.
Who gave them? Tell them again. That's it. Who told them to rebuild the city?
Yeah, go bonus points.
That was Darius right there, Cyrus.
Make it right.
Get it together. We'll give you that one.
Make it right.
Make it right, keep it tight now. You know what I'm talking about? Now, and the reason why I mention this is because if we're going to talk about from 14 generations from David to Babylon and 14 generations from Babylon to Mashiach, you're going to need to be aware of all this information. You're going to have to be aware of all this information is relevant and it's prevalent. Ain't that right, Bird? Bird, why your face greasy?
You got a boxing match tonight.
You got a box tonight. You got a box? Who you boxing? Shoot, you finna box me? Come on with it. What you laughing for? Because you can get you some too. Get your hands off the wall. Luke 19:42. That's right, Sean. And he put all that stuff in the house of his gods. Make that Luke 19:38. Shoot, you can make it 37. Luke 19:37. I'm referencing all that because it's like I told you before, we may not hit all of it, but it's a lot of cross-referencing. I mentioned it last night. That means there's going to be cross-referencing of the book of Zechariah. It's going to be cross-referencing the book of Haggai. It's going to be cross-referencing the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, along with Jeremiah, just like we're cross-referencing Ezekiel. All this stuff cross-references because it's around the same time period. See, contrary to popular belief, mass majority of the text cross-reference. They were dealing with a specific time. And I didn't want you to know that there were a multitude of other prophets. A multitude of other prophets. It was more prophets than just these few prophets you see in this book. These are the ones that he just chose to left a memorial with the information that he desired for you to know. That was relevant for your salvation. That's why he said if there was a book to be written, the world could not contain it. Because there were too many men prophesying over an extended period of time for you to be able to maintain all that information. Your mind wouldn't be able to take all of it. That's for the old smarty art nigga talking about this more. You got to go down the rabbit hole. See, you got to watch a nigga like to go down rabbit holes because he's going down the wrong hole. Hello? Hello? Luke 19:37. And when he was come near, even now at the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise Elohim with a loud voice for all the mighty works that they had seen, saying, Baruch, the Malik that come in the name of Yahuwah, Shalom and Shamahim and esteem in the highest. Some of the Pharisees from among the multitude said unto him, Master, rebuke your disciples. He answered and he said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their shalom, the stones would immediately cry out. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it. Come here, Renee. Hello, Renee. How are you? Very good. Saying, if you had known, even at least in this day, the things which belong unto your shalom, but now they are hid from your eyes. For the day shall come upon you that your enemies shall cast a trench about you, compass you round, and keep you in on every side. Is that not what you just seen in Ezekiel Chapter 4? Now I'm gonna go back. Let me just, hey, now I didn't want you to follow. Now let's look what he say right here in verse 3. Moreover, take you an iron pan and set it for a wall of iron against the city. Set your face against it. It shall be besieged, and lay a siege against it, and this shall be a sign to the house of Yasharal. And they couldn't see that sign. So I'm telling you that Ezekiel is telling you what Mashiach is now telling you, and this is a witness. This ain't no talking about what happened during the time of Zechariah. Zechariah had already been dealt with. This is telling you what was going to happen to Jerusalem the second time. Now, do you know why Jerusalem was destroyed the second time? Look at you. Now you got to catch 22. Hey, y'all too loud in there. Oh, you don't know, do you? Better think harder. Who knows why Jerusalem was destroyed the second time? Don't nobody know why Jerusalem was destroyed the second time? What? I can hear you. That doesn't sound like you had rocks in your mouth. I'm afraid of what? No, you don't know Lil Muffin? Oh, it wasn't for that, Saran. I tell you that it'd be rebuilt. Let's take a look at something. Come over here to Matthew 24. Maybe that'll help you out. Huh? That's correct. But I'm saying, let me finish this Luke 19 so I ain't got to come back. Luke 19 and 43 one more time. For the day shall come upon you that your enemy shall cast a trench about you, compass you round about, and keep you in on every side. And they shall lay even with the ground and your sons within you, and they shall not leave in you one stone upon another, because you knew not the time of your visitation. Matthew 24 and 1. After that, Hebrews chapter 8. Matthew 24 and 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see you not all these things? Truly I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now this is the question. Why is the temple being thrown down? Let's come over here to what they did to my baby. What you did to my baby? Come over here to Hebrews chapter 8. Hebrews 8 and 1. That's correct, sir. Now the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in Shamahim, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle which the Lord pitched and not man. So there's no need for a sanctuary that's built by man when now you have one that is built by Elohim. That is the purpose of destroying the temple the second time. Now, if you recall, the purpose of destroying the temple the first time was to show you Yahushua being killed and it being rebuilt of him resurrecting from the dead. Because Solomon built it the first time for it to be destroyed, for them to rebuild it. And then that's where you come in and we put the end of the sacrifice upon the rebuild. But see, that's another conversation when we start cross-referencing with Nehemiah and Ezra. Come on back to Ezekiel Chapter 4. He said, lie also upon your left side. Lie, this is Ezekiel 4 and 4. And lay the iniquity of the house of Yasharal upon it to the number of days that you shall lie upon it, and you shall bear their iniquity. For I have laid upon you the years of their iniquity, according to the number of the days. 390 days shall you bear the iniquity of the house of Yasharal. So you know how long he bare that iniquity for? How long did he bear that iniquity for? Over a year, right? 390 days. You say over a year? Can you tell me exactly? Who can tell me exactly? Not a year and 2 months. Yeah, he bared that iniquity for 13 months.
So over a year.
No, we didn't go over a year. We're trying to make sure that you pinpoint that how many days is in a month according to this text. That was the purpose of the question. 30 days. That was the purpose of that question. Okay. Yeah, when you look in the text, not 14 months down to 13. When you look in the text, they describe years being 360 days. Even division of numbers. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the 365 model that they have in this one here, so they got some little interjections going on. You know what I'm saying? That's why they got 365 and they just threw 5 in there for some other stuff they got going on. When you deal with the moon, you be at like 359, 358. You know what I'm saying? That's where they be at. See, Yahuwah division, easy divide. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you see 1,280 days. Stuff that can easily divisible. No leftovers. We don't do no carry to once. Ain't no shake. Some of y'all, that's what they were trying to say, bring you. That's what they're trying to bring you some shake. You know what some shake is, bro? Not you shaking your tail feather. I'm talking about some shake.
She lost in the sauce.
I said they ever brought you some shake?
No shake, all boy.
Your friends.
It's all boy. It's easy.
Could they call you?
It way easy. No bus.
Then they were your friends. Then they were your friends. If a nigga can call you, then you can say that's your friend. Shoot, why you got niggas in your phone that can call you then if that's your friend?
Call you, man.
Nah, he talks to a woman.
I'm for word, bro.
Shoot, I might just hear if a nigga call my phone now, nigga, I ain't got no random nigga just calling me like nigga that I won't be like, nigga, who is you and why is you calling me? What? Once you exclude business, you know what I'm saying? If somebody calling my phone, yes, you would have to.
Yeah, that's why.
Man, them coworkers ain't called this nigga working in a retail spot. Did you put all the jackets up on the counter for you left? They ain't calling her for that.
I got a jack. Hey, boy, they can do a lot of shit covering. Yeah, they call. I'll call you if I need it. Absolutely. I can't front that now. It's a tight squeeze. Hey, boy, you take a shelf.
When they called you, were they calling you for work? Tell the truth now, shame the devil. They called you, they was like, we got some blow. You want to come, Mikey? That's what they used to call you. Mm-hmm. And they still hit you up. We're having a nice rave. We're going to have some blow.
As low as the invite to be.
We're going to have some blow.
That is true.
Got some blow.
That's an invitation to a higher level party.
Elevating to a higher plane. Come get this blow. You ain't let them people get you on no Percocets, did you? Y'all don't do that up there. Man, y'all niggas ain't on no junk like that. Okay, Michigan finally whooped them niggas. It's about doggone time. I knew they were gonna win. I hope I win $100,000 off of that. Ohio State, them niggas ain't beat Ohio State in about 10 years. No, I had downloaded this junk and just filled that junk out. Now that junk ain't coming up.
Telling me about that.
They ask you all type of crazy junk too. Like you hit this junk could be like, how many? Pick a team to win. Hawks versus the Pacers. Pick the team to win and by how many points? They ain't gonna give you that money now. That junk say win $100,000 in Terry money. That ain't Terry Bradshaw, man. That nigga ain't got it. Sean say food industry workers are notorious for inviting you to get on some coke. Come on to the house, man. We're gonna have some weed, some cocaine, and some liquor and some whores.
That's why I thought she said waiters. I'm about to say waiters definitely.
You ever party with the white boys? White boys know how to party. Them white boys get drunk and high, don't nobody fight.
Any job you need to stay up.
You go over there and go party with some niggas, get drunk and high, somebody get shot. Everything too.
That's what the boys do.
Look at Calvin. I ain't never party with no white people.
Everybody get a bump.
You.
Hey, man, what about?
I party with some white boy every time today. They gonna make sure you enjoy yourself. It don't matter if you on drugs or not. They don't care. We got food, man. And you ain't got to pay for nothing. Nothing. Well, I noticed that when I went to the beach and went to selling dope. You sell dope to niggas, man. Let me cut the yard. They come cut the yard. Let me get a dime. I ain't tell you to cut the yard, nigga. Boy, the doggone smokers will call you. You could say, hey man, go get me a blunt when you come. And the smoker won't dope for you getting the blunt if he black. Man, white dude to come spend money with you, buy you blunts, buy you some beer, and something to drink. Don't want nothing.
Yeah, they got it. You get what they want.
They don't want, but that's just how they be. You know, niggas don't do nothing for nothing. I need something. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas ain't about nothing. That's why I don't like doing business with niggas.
Well, what you can say? You can borrow money from the white boy and never pay it back.
Huh?
Niggas feel like they did a lot for free in their day.
Niggas ain't did nothing for free. You earned all what you did, boy.
That's how good.
That's how they be feeling. That's sad too. 4 and 6. He saying, when you've accomplished them, lie again on your right side, and you shall bear the iniquity of the house of Yehuda 40 days. I've appointed you each day for a year. You shall set your face towards the siege of Jerusalem, your arm uncovered shall you prophesy against it. Now, when you sit back and look at that, Yahushua is the arm of Yahuwah, and he was uncovered when he prophesied against it. As you can see that in Luke 19. How did we see that? Because they were bringing him into the city, and what were they doing? Go back and look at Luke 19. Well, I started at verse 37. Bump it up a little bit and see what they were doing, and you can see how he was uncovered.
Cast their garments upon the
Did what?
They cast their garments upon the
And what they said after that?
They sat Yahushua thereon, and as he went, they spread their clothes in the way.
And did what?
And it was come now, even now, the descendants of Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of disciples began to rejoice and praise.
They began to rejoice, and what did they say?
With a loud voice for all the mighty works that they had seen, saying, Blessed be the King that cometh in the name of
You know what this is? Y'all know that Zechariah 9, your king come unto you lowly, ride upon an ass and the coast four of an ass. And they also said another spot, they began to cry what? Hosanna. You know what I'm talking about? Praise the Elohim in the highest. So at this point, he's uncovered. He's shown as coming into Jerusalem as the triumphant king, showing you what's going to happen at the end when he come upon that white horse with that sword coming out of his mouth, slaying all of his enemies. That's how you can see when he talking about lay the siege. Because you have to understand this here. There's going to be a siege laid on Jerusalem another time. And that's at his return. You should remember that from Zechariah 14, because he said that you would be in there and all the women were going to be raped. Not because he wants you to be raped, because that's why he tell you better hope this stuff don't happen. That's one of the reasons why he say you better hope you're not pregnant. Because when a woman is pregnant, she's in her most vulnerable state. And if you talking about dealing with that type of stuff going on right then, you were sitting up. You're sitting up. And I know that nobody wants to hear this, but it's just the reality of the play. When war goes down, women get raped. That is what has happened throughout the history of mankind. Women are the spoils of war. When war goes down, women get taken.
taken and raped.
They get taken, raped, or made a man's wife. That's why if you had not been, you wouldn't have to worry about it because you would be killed anyway because you had already lain with a man and had kids. They would have no use for you. They would just kill you. They don't want no woman who done had no kids or been with no man. As far as they look at it, you defiled. Only thing they're going to do is rape you. They'll have some fun with you, then kill you. Because we said we can't do nothing for you. That's why they kill all the male child. Because if you leave the male children alive, it's going to be like a kung fu movie. He killed my father. And he's going to be plotting from his childhood to his adulthood on how he can kill you. Word. No, I'm just letting you know this here, because it tell you that in Zechariah 14. Say the women going to be ravished. We talked about that before. That translated to rape. All right, let me show it to you again if you think I'm making it up. I ain't telling you that because that's what we want to happen. I'm just telling you that because that's what he said that was going to happen.
You've never been alive.
Yeah. Yes, Yasharal did take women from war. That's just shoot. That ain't a Yasharal thing. You know what I'm talking about? That's not just a right there, that word shagal, violate, ravish, to be ravished. Y'all know what that means. That's rape. Forcible sexual intercourse. That's what's going to happen. Man, look at, man, it's going to be a free fall out here, man. You talking about war between the righteous and the and this ain't saying that's going to happen to saints. He just said anybody in Jerusalem. Houses are going to be say, I'll gather all nations. This is Zechariah 14:1. Behold, the day Yahuwah come, and your spoil shall be divided in the midst of you. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. The city shall be taken, the houses rifled, the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. This dealing with the time of the beast. Now, this is not to say that it's going to be saints in Jerusalem, but I'm just letting you know that that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm talking about? You need to understand and deal with reality and don't have no utopian fantasy in your head. Yes, when war goes down and men get killed, women get violated. If a person doesn't have a problem killing another human being, what would make you think that they wouldn't have a problem violating women? See, come over here to Isaiah 13 so you can understand the level of death that is going to go on at that particular time. 13. This Isaiah 13 is not dealing with the destruction of Babylon the first time. This is dealing with the destruction of Babylon the second time. Isaiah 13, we can pick it up at verse 1.
Oh, that light come on?
Yeah. Just need a little bit of light. 13:1, book of Isaiah. I said we're gonna cover a lot of different stuff. Stuff gonna cross-reference and this, that, there, and the third. So just bear with me. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I've also called my mighty ones for my anger, them that rejoice in my highness. See, that's going to take us to the Epistle of Jew. The saints coming with Enoch prophesied, the seven from Adam, how the Lord would come with thousands of thousands, 10,000s and thousands of his faithful ones. The noise of the multitude in the mountains like a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. Yahuwah of hosts muster the host of the battle. Now, Michael, did you just see where he said in Zechariah that he would gather all the nations together to battle? We just read it in Zechariah 14. Oh, you missed that. Oh, you weren't paying attention. That means your doggone deposit has been rejected. Your check bounced. Do you know he told you that in Joel chapter 3 that he would gather all the nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat to battle? How about in Revelation when he told you that he would gather them all to battle in the place called what? Armageddon. How about the fact that he told you that in Revelation 17 that he would gather another place that he would gather all the nations and they would fight against the Lord? So just so you're aware, Jerusalem gets destroyed 3 times. First 2 times for the sins of Yasharal. 3rd time to get the wicked up out of there. Because you should remember from Revelation 11, who is in Jerusalem at that time? The beast. Because he built him a temple and said he was God. You got all these rules. They're going to build a 3rd temple. They ain't got nothing to do with me. That's a temple of idolatry. Ain't going to be no temple made with hands in the house of Yahuwah. Because it said Elohim and the Lamb are the temple of it. We have no need for that. That's a personal problem.
That's the other argument they used to argue about.
Oh, yeah, they don't argue about that 3rd temple too tough no more. The reason why they don't argue about that no more because Obama ain't president. Because when Obama was president, the argument when he was the Antichrist and the world was coming to an end. And then when Trump took over, they just stopped that argument. Like Bruce just argue about all type of stuff, and the information just goes in and out, in and out. And all you know is that stupidity because Yahuwah is consistent. His message ain't going to change. If your message is changing every couple of years based off of world events, the Lord ain't with you. Muffin man, you got to use the bathroom? Go use the bathroom. Verse 5, Isaiah 13. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Yahuwah, the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. How you, for the day of Yahuwah is at hand, it shall come as destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. That's going to take you back to that Revelation 1 and 7. They shall wail because of him, even so, amen. They shall be afraid. Pains and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travail, and they shall be amazed at one another, and their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of Yahuwah come cruel with both wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. He shall destroy the sinners out of it. Little Muffin. I ain't never seen you act like this. Clearly. For the stars of Shamahim and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in its going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. That's Matthew 24 also. Revelation also. Isaiah 33 also. Or 34, excuse me. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Do you understand what he just said? That it's going to be that many men who is going to die, that a man will be precious as fine gold. See, you know why you don't view it that way? Because they make you believe that all the stuff that they got as gold is really gold. These people be capping. See, they done made you think the things that are actually rare, they make you think they got them in abundance, and the things that are actually they have in abundance, they tricked you to believe that they were rare. See, they got niggas believing diamonds are rare. If a nigga be around here stunting with diamonds, that nigga stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Because you got gamed and you proud to tell the whole world that I'm an idiot, that I overpaid for something that costs just as much as the cubic zirconias that niggas rank on for wearing. That's how valuable diamonds are. They're worth nothing. They're worth absolutely nothing. They are in great supply. You know what I'm talking about? We've had this conversation before. They tell you fossil fuels. Don't you believe that crap? Yahuwah say he made the earth to be inhabited. Ain't no running out. Ain't no running out. If there's oil, that means the oil is going to pump to Yahuwah say it don't pump. But they want you to believe that so that they can restrict the supply in order to charge you what they want to charge you for the oil. See, a lot of people be like, how do people can charge us for this here? You can charge anybody for anything if you own the land. When I say own the land, meaning you colonized it and you ruled it. And that's happened throughout the course of human history. Because guess what? When you came into the land of Yasharal, did you not take the benefits of the land and sell it? The only thing that you couldn't do is you couldn't take somebody's inheritance and then charge them to dwell there. So you couldn't do that. See, this is the thing that we don't like when we look at the world governmental and economic structure. This is what happens when you don't obey. You have to be subject to people who have no God and can do whatever they want. You have to be subject to that. Because if you were to obey Yahuwah, you wouldn't be subject to any of this. Because you got to think, why I got to pay rent? Because somebody built the house there. And they expended resources in there. Why do you believe that you should fit off of somebody else's resources when you are a captive and a stranger in a land that is not yours, serving gods whom your fathers knew not? If you're going to look at it, you got to look at it from the proper perspective, because when you don't look at it that way, you're trying to play the victim, and you are not a victim. You're a victim of the own circumstances of which you created for your own level of disobedience and unbelief. The minute you begin to accept that is the minute that he'll begin to allow you to have ease in the places where you dwell.
Somebody in here.
13 and 13. I ain't saying you got to like it. I'm just telling you have to accept it for what it is. Because I guarantee you this here, right? If you was to give black people authority right now, they're charged rent just like everybody else. They're charged for resources just like everybody else. Let's not virtue signal and act like these people going to be so righteous and so benevolent and compassionate to everybody in the earth, because that's a lie. The niggas ain't benevolent and compassionate with people in their own house or their own bloodline. Niggas ain't benevolent and compassionate with people who don't look like them if they can't benefit off of them. So you know what I'm saying? So let's not sit here and tell no stories and tell no lies about what niggas would do. You give niggas authority and power, they're going to do the same thing as everybody else. And we got book for that. Because if we just read in Jeremiah, if the king was oppressing the poor and needy and wasn't executing justice and judgment, what you think the people were doing? You can read in the book of Ezra where they were selling their people into captivity and didn't want to let them go. Even though the law say you shall not rule over each other with rigor, for you are my servants. And the people said, bump that jump. I'm going to rule him. So let's just be real with ourselves. Black people love to paint a picture that we just this blameless, great and upright people. You just as wicked as the rest. If not, no, you know why it ain't. If not, we are worse. The reason why we are worse because you had Yahuwah and they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I could get why they would behave like that. They had no God, but you had God and behaved that way. Where my money at? Better find it, or you ain't gonna be able to use the bathroom. That ain't no money. It's in the car. You better go get it. Isaiah 13:13. Therefore I will shake Shamahim and the rats, and shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahuwah hosts in the day of his fierce anger. See, we could cross-reference this with Revelation 18. We're just not going to do it right now. Because Isaiah 47 is a better cross-reference. It's more Isaiah 47 and Revelation 18 is the same thing word for word. Y'all should already be aware of that, though. Yes. Oh, your mother summoned you. Go quietly. Go see what she wants. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man take up. They shall every man turn into his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Everyone that is joined shall fall by the sword. You see what he's telling you? If you were down with the beast at that day, you're getting killed. Because if not, you're going back to where you came from. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, gold, and they shall not delight in it. I'm sorry, I skipped the verse. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. That's what we came over there for. You see the same thing in Jeremiah. So I'm telling you, that's not necessarily saints that's going to get raped. But if you're in Jerusalem at that time, it's a high probability that someone is going to ravage your wife. Most of us won't be in Jerusalem at that time. Most of us will be on the outskirts. But if you in Jerusalem at that time, brew or not, you could possibly be in for a high level of trouble. Reason why I say that is, matter of fact, let me just put it this way. You could be a brew in Jerusalem at that time and be an enemy of Yahuwah. Because you should be remembering Daniel 11 that he'll make intelligence with those who forsake the Kadash covenant. So there'll be brews standing right in Jerusalem ready to fight the man. Let's just go and keep it a buck and tell it what it is. See, I'm telling you this stuff here because ain't nobody else going to tell it to you. See, they're going to paint you rainbows and sunshines, and then this here, then when stuff go to crazy, you ain't going to know what to do because you weren't prepared for it.
Hold on, bud.
Go ahead.
Oh, you upset because you got to move? You being No, you just wasn't listening. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver and gold. They shall not delight in it. Bows shall dash their young men to pieces. They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, killing babies and all. Their eyes shall not spare children. Babylon, the esteem of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there. Satyrs shall dance there. The wild beasts of the island shall cry in the desolate houses, and the serpents in their pleasant palaces. Her time is near to come. Her days shall be prolonged. So when we go and start looking at Jeremiah 50 and 51, it'll be more for that.
Here in 17, when it said, with the redeemed, they should not regard silver or gold. Remember that Daniel 11, he said he don't want silver.
Yeah, but see, this is a little different. Because we're talking about Babylon as a whole. See, come over here to Revelation 18 now. Just a tad bit different, because that one's direct and this one here is overall. But same theme though, nevertheless. Same theme, nevertheless. So you come over here to Revelation chapter 18. I'll see where I want to start at, because I still need to read Psalms 137. Pick it up at verse 8. Hey, Ruth. Well, shoot, nigga, I ain't did it to you. How about that, little Ruth? Pop, pop. Thank you. Come here, Pop. What's wrong with you? Why are you looking like that? Go sit down. Therefore, matter of fact, make it 6, 5. For her sins have reached unto. See, back this up to verse 4. I'm gonna bring this here now, right? Because a lot of niggas want to tell you flee from Babylon like you in Babylon right now. If a nigga tell you you in Babylon right now, you're talking to a man who has no idea what he's talking about. Why can we say that? Because you see from chapter 17, you got the woman and the beast. The beast is Babylon would be the ruling class or the ruling country at that time. And the beast has power over the whole world. You can't have Babylon in effect without the man who's saying that he God in the flesh. That's not happening here. So for nigga to tell you, you got to flee Babylon, you in the Babylonian system, that's a nigga trying to take his personal perspective and mesh it with the word. Because when he's telling you to flee Babylon, he's talking about you literally being in that location. I know a lot of people do, and they highly mistaken. Because guess what? You can't flee into Jerusalem over here.
We got a long flee.
Reason why I say that, because we have to go look in Jeremiah 50 and 51, and he tell you leave Babylon and go back where you came from. See, come over here and let's take it. Let me read verse 4, then we'll look at it. I heard another voice from Shamahin saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, that you receive not of her plagues. What does this take you back to? Sodom and Gomorrah. Because he told Lot them, get up out of here. Don't be partakers of her sins, because I'm finna rain plagues down. He's going to do the same things that he's always done, so you know that it's Yahuwah. Jeremiah 50. That's why you can't be listening to these dudes, man. You know what I'm talking about? Without cross-referencing this text and not going off your personal feelings, thoughts, and projections and perspectives, if you would. See, let me look at it and show you, right? Jeremiah 50. Look at verse 40. Oh, no, this is, see, those plays were different. See, they told you to get out. Yahuwah told Lot them, man, look here, man, I'm finna rain vengeance on this place. You boy need to slide. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get caught here, you're dying here. Jeremiah 50 and 40. As Elohim overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahuwah, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Is that not what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? You could go read that in Genesis 18 if you wish. This is not the place that I wanted with the next spot. Come on over here. So hold on. Let me give you verse 7, because we about to read about that cup. Let me give you verse 4. Like I say, right, just bear with me, because we're going to be going to the end of Babylon before we go to Babylon. When we get to Babylon, whole lot of stuff. Just a whole lot of Babylon stuff. That's what you get. Go on to Jeremiah 51. Verse 4, Jeremiah 51 and 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, they that are thrust through in her streets. Yasharal have not been forsaken, nor Yehuda of his Elohim. Yahuwah of hosts through their land was filled with sin against the Kadash one of Yasharal. Listen what he said. Flee out the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity. This is the time of Yahuwah's vengeance. He will render under her recompense. This is the same thing in Revelation. That's why I tell you niggas stupid. Now, and when I say they stupid, meaning how do you study a word and teach it week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, and don't know simple information? Because this is the exact same thing the Revelation said. And this man is talking about the latter end of Babylon. You're not in the latter end of Babylon. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm talking about his fourth is how evil it is going to be. And people flaunting and disrespecting you. If you think it's bad now. So you know what black people's biggest problem is that you thinking that everything revolves around where you're at and not having a comprehensive worldview. Because I'm going to tell you something. Things are tame in America versus how they are overseas. Contrary to popular belief, these people don't live an upright, godly lifestyle overseas. Like there are commercials that run in Europe that you'll never see on the TV here. I've seen a literal Skittles commercial where they were mimicking oral sex, and when the man ejaculated, he gave her the money shot with Skittles. And this is where it's on regular television over there. Regular television. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down. Very graphic, very sexual. Don't let them Arabs fool you talking about Allah. They don't go down there and kiss no vulva or no vagina for nothing. They talk all that crazy stuff, but then when them free codes go talking about they getting flowed out and they out there to Dubai, them men defecating on them whole faces. Oh, y'all didn't know that, did you? Yeah, all them little fine chicks you see that talking about, them hoes can't afford to go to no damn Dubai. Women can't afford to do none of that. Somebody paying for that. And it's a rich nigga in the Middle East who paying for that, and she got to be humiliated for that. Because they squatting over her and they doodling on her face. They lead them up under camels and let the camels defecate on them. They make them suck camel penis. Okay. Real talk, my G. You look it up, man. They talk about some of these women that came out and admitted it. That's why I be telling you the internet, y'all really think these hoes really getting money? You know how expensive it is to go to Dubai and stay there for an extended period of time? Because let's just be honest. Let's just be honest, right? If they say that only 10% of the entire United States population make $100,000, which if you say that after taxes is 70,000, because Uncle Sam taking about 25 to 30%, so after taxes is 70,000. Man, what the hell you think these people out here doing? Y'all really think niggas really got money like that? Y'all really believe that? Niggas act like they got all the money but scream you the poorest because you niggas living above your means. And then all the women, nah, they ain't getting money like that. They got a rich nigga who is humiliating them for that. She getting gangbanged. You know what I'm talking about? You see all them chicks overseas traveling. We already know that. They'll play with it if you want to. That's why I put that video in the chat. Grandma say, we been scallywag. Yeah, she want to go on a girl trip to get ramrodded. That's sex with no attachments and nobody gonna tell. Because we know y'all ain't gonna tell on each other. It could be 6 women together and she knows, shoot. She was wilding on that trip, girl. She had 4 niggas at once. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all can sit back and see her kiss her husband dead in the mouth and know she just got gangbanged. And y'all ain't gonna chuckle. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Knowing full well that nigga ought to kill that. Oh, she just kissed him in the mouth. You seen her suck 3 men in the same night and you ain't gonna tell it. But God forbid you see this nigga talking to a woman in the grocery store. Girl, I seen him doing this here with this hoe in the store. The hypocrisy. It ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk, man. You see all them chicks like this here going somewhere. Somebody paying for that. Somebody's paying for that. Who paying for it? You notice all these hoes always in the trip. They ain't gonna never let you see the nigga who took them. Because that nigga she did some ungodly things to go over there just to say she had an experience. You'll let a nigga disrespect you and violate your body for an experience. I'd rather stay to the house. I'd rather stay to the house. That's how bad you know it's in the world, that a woman wouldn't care of desecrating her body just to say she did something. Shoot, I know a girl used to sell her Gucci for Gucci shoes. Just so she can say she won. Living in the projects, nigga. This nigga living in Almeida with some Gucci shoes on. You done let 15 men ramrod your vagina to wear some Gucci shoes in the project. Come on, man. That bad for business. That junk sad, man. That junk ain't right. It ain't right before the Lord. Look at what he said in verse 7. Babylon, a golden cup in Yahuwah's hand that made all the earth what? Drunken. Is all the earth drunken off what America has to offer? No, because they don't do what they do. China do what they want to do. India do what they want to do. What they do in the Middle East, whether it's Libya, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Dubai. See, Dubai, that junk is that's a money city. That's what that's for. That's what they built that for. They manufactured the city out of nothing. That's what they did. That junk was a desert. Them niggas came over there and they manufactured the city out of nothing. And a bunch of stupid niggas feel like, I want to go to Dubai. Niggas got to be the dumbest niggas on the face of the earth. Nigga come up with something just for you to go over there and say you win. With a bunch of people who don't like you. You don't ever see niggas bunch up like, shoot, you want to go to doggone Kenya. It's cities like Dubai in Kenya, nigga. But you think it's a bunch of niggas living in huts with flies flying around them over there, though. And Milan, though, did you see metropolitan cities when you went over? I'm trying to tell you, it's metropolitan cities in Africa. I don't see niggas running and want to go over there, but you want to run and go to Dubai because a freak hole went over here and told you this was the place to go. Now you want to go because the celebrities went. Come on, man. And that's the sad part. That's the thing, too. That women will call brothers broke. Baby, you had a train ran on you for that Birkin bag. You know what I'm saying? But see, I would felt like this before the word. A woman could never make me feel bad about not buying you something that your broke behind couldn't buy for yourself. You musty hoe, you. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you broke, nigga. Show Liz. I'm gonna be broke over here smoking my weed, you funky slut hoe. Like I'm gonna feel bad because I can't have the honor to spend my money on you. That's a loss for me. You ain't got nothing anyway. I got something just not for you. Shoot, when you're young, you better be worried about your own fun. That's where a lot of men mess up at. Get young, you worry about trying to impress a woman. Shoot, better impress your bank account, niggas. Let the people at the bank know your name. Shoot, what they say that cheers, sometimes you want to go where everybody know your name. You know what I'm talking about? Where they glad you came. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, them niggas want to go to the strip club and make it rain.
You know what I'm talking about? You trying to impress this chick. Shoot, I'm trying to impress the bank teller. Oh, hey, mister, I'm glad to see you again. Yeah, it's been a minute. Boy, you were just here yesterday. I sure was. I appreciate you. Remember, you know how I like my bills. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up, crisp.
Blues, please.
I don't want no blue. I want all old ones. I want old 20s, old 50s, and old 100s. They got them in the back. I guarantee if you went in there and asked for it, you come in there enough, they'll accommodate you. If you got a big enough account and you do enough business with them, and you come in there and say, I want $10,000 all old 100s, them niggas gonna be like this here, by all means, Mr. Barker. Give me 30 minutes. We'll get it together for you. They give you just what you asked for. When you're a faithful customer. If you a nigga who just come in there and you ain't never got no doggone, you ain't like this here, your junk being a negative, overdrafting, shoot, nigga, you gonna take these 20s I give you. Please. First, it's an investigation. What if I brought it in that cash?
Sound like Wells Fargo.
Well, they ain't do that for us. We always.
But you can't take it out.
Come get in now.
That's what I'm saying. What if I came in and deposit? I'm saying, what if it was $5,000?
Don't look like that. Let's go.
Reported to who? To the IRS or the FBI?
The borough.
Hey, they gonna go to the federal. What it is? Something commission. That's tough. Hey, so if my junk was in the negative, and then I got a check from doing business and put it in there, like that junk happened every day.
Do that for every day. That's why you have to test
Niggas say, dang, I was broke on Thursday, payday Friday. Y'all niggas see every Friday I get a check, nigga. I bought drugs, nigga. Yeah, I got drugged by my rent. Straight up. That's who drugged me. That nigga drugged me all across the floor, nigga. Shoot, you know where I'm getting it from. I get a direct deposit every week.
Yeah, when you do it every week, you straight. But that first check, they hit you. Hey, where you got the proof of employment?
I mean, Wells Fargo put everything on hold. If that junk ain't a Wells Fargo check, that junk hold.
That's why that rhythm when I was in the boat.
No, but Wells Fargo do that junk. It don't matter if you got money in your account or not. You put a check in there that ain't from Wells Fargo, that junk a 24-hour hold. I don't care where it's from there. I done put all types of checks in that nigga. PNC Bank, Bank of America, nigga, that junk ain't hit. You know what I'm talking about? It'll hit, that give you 400, depending on how much the check is. If the check over 400, let's say if it's 1,000, they gonna give you 400 and they gonna hold the 6. You know what I'm saying? When it clear, they release the 6. I don't know what Navy Federal do. Man, I don't go inside.
No, you usually gotta have the money to cover it. Though. So say if it is 1,000, you gotta have 1,000 or more just for them to even deposit the whole thing in.
Man, look here, man. Whether
Because if you ain't got it in, they're not gonna release the whole thing.
nigga, I got money in there. This is the point. I ain't got time. I'm not going in there. Man, I've been banging with Wells Fargo for 5 years. Man, I ain't going in there. I don't want to talk to them people. No, I just wasn't capping. I wasn't no high cap. Shoot. I ain't no, no disrespect, man. Oh, Sean say Navy Federal do a similar thing. Who, nigga, no.
Yeah, they go check you.
Now, when I done grabbed the Wells Fargo check, everything get deposited. We were cleaning out where my cousin work at. Them were Wells Fargo checks. Them 1,500, bomb, there, no way. Yeah. Oh, they all gonna hold. We don't trust you, niggas. Oh yeah, if you put cash in, it's going straight in. But you drop that check from another bank, we don't trust y'all. Niggas write bad checks.
Even with the check, no. It's good. If they don't come back right, they'll take care on the back end.
Wells Fargo, every time, every email, deposited 400, rest the next day. Like this here. Shoot. I done put $10,000 checks in there. Them niggas like, no, we'll give you 9,600 tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? You get 400 today. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. Shoot, I'm talking about they ain't never failed. They ain't never broke the pattern. Jeremiah 51:8. He said, behold, hold on, I ain't read all of it. Behold, Babylon had been a cold golden cup in Yahuwah's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Oh, I ain't never trust no bank, my G. Shoot, the money ain't real no way, so it don't make no difference. You can't hurt me for taking what's fake. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got no real money, but I feel you though. Shoot. But if you want to build you some wealth, you better learn how to leverage them, get you some assets. You got to know how to pimp them. See, that's the thing we don't know how to do. You don't know how to pimp them. We ain't taught how to pimp them. Take them people and leverage it, because that's what they doing with your money. They take your money and lend it to another nigga. So you got to learn to get their money and make it make money for you instead of using your own. But that's what them white folks do. You know that too. You worked in that too. Them white folks don't never use their money doing it. They looking quick. Can I get a LOC? Can I get a loan for something? I'm quite love a line of credit. I told you about a line of credit, boy. A line of credit sweeter than bet pussy, boy. I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot.
I didn't hit it.
Yeah, it's sweeter than bet pussy. Nah. I'm line of credit law because you know what I'm talking about? That junk revolving. You know what I'm talking about? Like they'll keep shooting. If your junk on point, they'll keep shooting you the bread. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got to pay it back as quick.
I told you 300,000. I know somebody got approved.
I already know it. I'm waiting for one now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got my guns and bread. I'm gonna try them too.
Yeah, real talk though. But that's how a lot of them buy their properties. That's how a lot of them finance junk. They use them line of credit. People don't use their own. See, I would talk that as a jit. Yeah, I was at the real estate meetup when I was 22, man. Black lady. She say, OPM, baby. Other people's money. She say, never use your own money. Yeah, but see, you got private lenders. So where you don't necessarily got to go to the banks and you could get secured or unsecured and they'll shoot it to you with almost the same terms, if not better terms than what the bank are. A private lender way better. Huh? Nah. That ain't no mob stuff, yeah. The nigga just, because I mean, whatever the agreement is, them people just gonna come for your stuff. More private lenders, you know, they giving you money to buy a house. They just gonna take the house. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get their money regardless. Because they gonna have first position on your loan. 51:8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. That's what we came here for. And let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reach under Shamahim and is lifted up to the skies. You see, it's the same thing. So this is not telling you flee out of America, go live in the woods. This man is telling you that everybody that's in Babylon, go back to the country where you came from. That's what he's telling you. Is that not what Revelation 18 said? Because why? Her sins reached up to the skies. Go back where you came from. We're gonna leave from there right now. We ain't gonna talk too much more about that, Jeremiah. We're gonna rehash that in the future. You know, some of y'all who ain't been around here for a while, we dealt with that in the past. By the grace of Elohim, he allowed us to understand how things gonna go down in the end. So we periodically revisit things on how it's gonna go down in the end, so you can see it, so you can understand it. It's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? It's not that complex. It's just understanding when, where, how, and that way you won't lose your faith. See, when you don't understand how things gonna happen, that's how you lose your faith. Because when something happened contrary to what you thought was gonna happen, you get shook. And when you get shook, well, you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna stumble and you're gonna fall. Revelation chapter 18. We were at verse 5. That's good brandy right there. You used to like to sip brandy in your day? Yeah. XO? Not me. Remy Martin Fine Champagne Cognac. What you know? I just got up on that not too long. Well, came up. Well, you better left it alone. You'll be around here running in the street talking about it's hot. Oh, no.
You got on brandy already? Huh? You just got on brandy already?
You said Remy. I was telling this, but it smell like real brandy.
Yeah. I ain't never been around.
That's why I kept slipping.
Real brandy. They said they really miss you, Brandy. That used to be your favorite song, wasn't it? These were playing that this moment. I say, you don't even know that lady. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Elohim remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double under her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. She hath esteemed herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she say in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, famine. She shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahuwah Elohim who judge her. And this is the key component you have to remember. Babylon gets destroyed, and it coincides with the returning of the Lord. Now, the Lord is not the one himself who destroys Babylon. It's the Medes and the Persians and all the others that do it. He coming in, so he's going to focus all his attention on the beast who say he Elohim and destroy him. Babylon get taken care of before Yahuwah returns. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the text, it sort of looks like it's a close timeline. Once you see Babylon get smashed, you know the Lord is on his way.
Be quiet.
Who in here talking want a belt on their butt? Is it Muffin Man that stinks? Is it Grandma? Is it Eugene? Is it Abigail? I think it's Abigail. And the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Stand afar off from the fear of the torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for 1 hour is your judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy her merchandise anymore. Now, we're not going to read all this crying that they're going to do, but I just want you to come back over here and look at this verse 20 of Revelation 18. Then we're going to come back to Psalms 130, well, Ezekiel 4. We still got Psalms 137. No, the beast kingdom is set up as Babylon is ruling. The beast is ruler over the whole world, but Babylon is assisting him in such. And that's why you see that in Revelation 17. Because the whore is riding upon the beast. And you had some kings that didn't like that whore. But they didn't mess with the whore because of the beast. But eventually those two kings, them kings that hated that whore, go ahead and take that whore out, because Yahuwah is the one that caused them to hate the whore. Come over here to Revelation 17 so y'all can see what he's talking about. 17:1. It's That's me, Hezekiah. There came one of the seven Malachim, which has 7 vials, and talked to me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto you the judgments of the great whore that sit upon many waters, whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the Ruach into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. That scarlet-colored beast is the beast. You already know his name is full of blasphemy because he said he would blaspheme the tabernacle of Shamahim. And you should also remember that from Ezekiel 35 when he says that I've heard all your blasphemies and I have heard them. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet, decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. Did you see how Yahuwah said she was as a golden cup? See, she's holding the same cup like Yahuwah hold the cup. Yahuwah told you his cup was full with what? The wine of his wrath, and he would give it to the wicked, and they would drink the dregs thereof. She got a cup, but she giving you abominations and spiritual fornications, or the worshiping of other gods. And upon her forehead was written, Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots, the abominations of the earth. Because you have to remember, what is the beast for? A support. Because a woman can't rule on her own. She needs the support of a man. She's riding on the back of a man. That man is the one who is supporting her in her endeavors. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua when I saw her, and I wondered with great admiration. The Malachim said unto me, Why do you marvel? And I will tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast that carry her, which has 7 heads and 10 horns. This is how we know the beast is the anti-Mashiach, because look what you're finna read. The beast that you saw was and is not. Do you remember when we talked about that? So you know who this is with the was and is not. He was in the beginning, but he is not Elohim. Because how do you know this? Because in the beginning was the word, and the word was with Elohim, and the word was Elohim. He was, but is not. And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the Lamb, book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not, yet is. So that's how this is stamping that you know that that beast that she's riding is the son of Satan. And Babylon is supported by the son of Satan, or the king of Satan, if you want to call him that. Because I just want you to know that we're going to reference that. We can say king of Satan, son of perdition, the anti-Mashiach, all of those things, same man. Do you see this woman is supported by whom? The beast. That's who she's riding on. Without that beast, she can't get anywhere. So the beast is the one who is going to transport her into all the world for people to fool with her. Because without him, where can she go? You know, a woman can't get anywhere without a man taking her anywhere.
So you said Jesus, so she could transfer her doctrine?
Yeah, that's what he for. Because it says she's drunk with the wine of the blood of the martyrs and other saints. America is not drunk with the blood of the faithful. What saints, real servants of Yahuwah, has America killed that you know of? We can't say Malcolm X. We can't say Huey Newton. We can't say any of those men. None of those men were servants of Yahuwah. If we say that they servants of Yahuwah, we are blaspheming, because you're ascribing righteousness and godliness to men whom the word says it would not be ascribed to. You got to get your personal feelings out of freedom fighting, and you're going to have to go with Yahuwah. See, that's when you're being pro-black instead of pro-Yahuwah. This ain't nothing personal against those men. That's not knocking anything that those men did. But do they line up with what the book say is salvation for me to say that is a faithful servant of Yahuwah?
All right, so you don't mind. So basically, all right, Babylon set up. You said she's gonna get destroyed by the Medes and Persians, right?
I would have taken.
And then that's when the beast gonna set up his kingdom.
The beast already got a kingdom set up. He rules over Babylon, but he's a support system for Babylon. He uses Babylon as a means to perpetuate what he's got going on. What better way to deceive people than to use a woman?
But I thought, see, my understanding was the woman was gonna be where he's reigning from.
Now Babylon said, you know, he gonna be in Jerusalem per Revelation chapter 11.
But why I say the woman is the city?
She is a city. Babylon is, remember, Babylon get destroyed, and then the Lord comes for the beast. The Lord that means that no man touches the beast. And he's separate from Babylon. But yet he's not separate from Babylon. They're in cahoots, but they're in two different locations.
Okay, so when we talk about the woman is the spiritual system.
Yeah, that he used to propagate.
Right.
He uses the woman because, again, this takes in another matter. We haven't talked about this in a long time, but I'm going to use it right now. This is another example of Ecclesiastes 7:26. I find more bitter than death the woman. For her hands is like snares and nets, and her heart is as bands. And he that please Elohim shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. And that woman is that whore because women are authors of confusion. They are not purveyors of order, system, and structure. You've never seen that in the history of mankind where women set up systems, order, and structure. That's why when I see women say, well, I love discipline, that's a lie. Because unless your daddy raised you, you don't love no doggone discipline because you was raised by a woman. So that means you had a free fall. You know what I'm talking about? Because the minute any type of man come with any type of system, structure, and order, you resist it. Because now you're no longer allowed to do what you want. Let's just like this here. You was raised with your dad and your mama. Which one let you do what you wanted to do out of the two? They were both hard. Well, they from New York, so y'all niggas rude.
I guess it's the 7:18 to say that the woman with saw is a great city. That's different. So the woman that's right.
That reign, but so to say she reigned over the kings of the earth. The kings of the earth, she's ruling over them because they do business with her. You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen in Jeremiah 50, because you seen where it mentioned it, because it said that in Jeremiah 50. Let's go back and look at it.
I guess what I'm saying, the woman is Babylon.
The woman is Babylon. And the
woman
beast
is the great city, Babylon, that reign over all the kingdoms.
Yes, sir. What that was, Jeremiah 51.
My understanding, Jeremiah 50 is when Jerusalem and Yasharah go back together to leave out of Babylon.
This is when we getting prepared to come back to the house. And you can see that in verse 4 in Jeremiah 50. When he says, in those days and at that time, Yahuwah, that the sons of Yasharah shall come, they and the sons of Yehuda together, going and weeping, and they shall go and seek Yahuwah their Elohim, and they shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come, let us join ourselves to Yahuwah in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. That's when you're dealing with a manner of repentance and returning. But what was the verse we just looked at? What was that in Jeremiah 50 I was looking at? No, I'm talking about with them kings. But see right here, you see right here, Babylon has made the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine, and the nations are mad. You know what I'm talking about? So, but hold on, we're going to read some more out of this here, right? Revelation 17:9. Here is the mind which have wisdom, the 7 heads of 7 mountains, which the women sit. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, the other is not yet to come. And when he come, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is and is not, he is even the 8th. And is of the 7th that go into perdition. 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings which receive no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. They have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. So what you end up seeing, which is going to precipitate Babylon's destruction, is that the beast is going to gather all of these people together, and they're going to give all the authority over unto him. And then they're going to turn on Babylon, and then the Lord going to end up killing him. And he said, he saw unto them the waters which you saw where the whore sit are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues, and the 10 horns which saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's why I mentioned the Medes and the Persians just being as representative of those 10 kings, because they gonna take Babylon out, and then Yahushua gonna take the beast out. For Elohim have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until all the words of Elohim shall be fulfilled. And the woman which you saw is that great city which reigned over the kings of the earth. Now come on back to verse 20. This is why I'm letting you know that America is not Babylon, because America has not killed any prophets or apostles that you know of. You can't say Malcolm X is no apostle. You a damn liar from hell. You know what I'm talking about? Because, boy, he ain't getting no gospel, no direct revelation from Yahuwah. I don't care what that nigga done did. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to sit here and say this man did stuff and give the honor and esteem that belonged to Yahuwah, and this man didn't honor and esteem Yahuwah in any shape, form, or fashion. How can you say anybody is a saint, an apostle, or a prophet, and the name of Yahuwah never emanated out of their mouth? Because this man say, he that proclaimed him that sent him, the same is true, and there's what? There's no unrighteousness in him. You can't say you are Yahuwah and ain't nobody never heard you give esteem to Yahuwah and point nobody to Yahuwah and discuss Yahuwah and bring souls to Yahuwah. If you say anyway, you lying on Yahuwah.
That's what I was thinking. Since the nation get pretty much duped by the woman to serve her, all the people that's in all the nations gonna be killing the saints in their respective nation
Absolutely.
to appease the woman.
To appease that woman.
Then when they finally do turn on, then the Lord will have to go ahead.
And that's when he tell everybody, hey, man, you better go back where you came from. You better slide from up out of here. That's why he say you'll be hated by all nations for my name's sake, because remember, you're going to have the beast and the false prophet. The false prophet telling people to worship the beast, and the beast sets up the spiritual system, and the whore propagates it.
That's why all the nations don't believe in the false prophet, because of the miracles. That's the only way all the nations getting food because of the miracles of the false
And then
prophet.
they can get money with the whore.
Right.
Hey, the two witnesses before that.
Two witnesses is right when the beast raising up. Once the two witnesses get killed, shoot, you better barbecue a mildew.
That's what I'm saying. He tell them to flee from the.
No, the two witnesses don't tell nobody to flee.
No, I'm saying what you just said about them fleeing. The two witnesses come right before that. After.
Oh, two witnesses come according to the timeline of Revelation 11, 12, and 13. Now, 12 and 13 are obviously talking about the beast, but then Revelation 11 tell you that the beast wanted them dead. So, of course, the beast has ascended to power by the time the two witnesses go to prophesying. And once they go to prophesying and they prophesying is fulfilled,
Come here, Carl.
out of the east, he gonna, you know what I'm talking about? He gonna slide. That's right. You remember that. Y'all remember the Daniel 11, right? You remember Daniel 11? Michael, you don't remember nothing. I bet you remember them TV shows you be watching. I bet you remember to make sure to hit that stainless steel with that polish. Now, you know how I know? Because I seen you do it. Come over here to Daniel 11, because Michael don't remember. It's okay you don't remember. Oh, you thought you was okay because ain't nobody mess with you in 2 weeks. But you got today. That just means we love you. You don't want us to love you? No, you don't. You just said that to make me feel good. It did. It didn't work. Daniel 11 and 42. But this is what it's at. The two witnesses bring good news. This infuriates the beast. This also infuriates those who have been infected with the doctrine of Babylon. Oh, no. The two witnesses, I'll read it for you, bro. The two witnesses is actually two men. They mirror Elijah and Moses. I'm not going to tell you that's Elijah and Moses. Some men will, but they had the power and authority that Elijah and Moses wielded. Oh, no, I'm good. No, because you mentioned it. It's a good question. It might be other people who don't know. And when stuff like that happen, we just go ahead and share it. Never big deal if you mention what you previously understand. I don't knock nobody for what they understood something to be. It gives us a chance to just share the information, to rehash it for somebody who may forgot or for somebody who don't know. So ain't nothing that, well, everybody in here know this here, but if y'all don't hear, you don't know that. Oh, you can always share your thoughts or what you perceive something to understood to be, because we're going to go look at it. You know what I'm saying? We just ain't going to disregard it like, no, nigga, that ain't what it is. No, we're going to look at it so you can see. Plus, we're going to have to do it, because if we don't, then you ain't going to know what this Daniel 11 is even talking about. So Daniel chapter 11, verse 42. You can make it 41. He shall enter also into the esteemed land, Jerusalem. Many shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand. Edom, Moab, and the chief of the sons of Ammon. So again, remember, all these nations, you got these 10 kings. It doesn't specify what nations those kings are. So that could be any group of people, but he said these escape. He shall, because you also got to remember, why else would they hate the whore? Men lose power. And when men lose power, that is where resentment, anger, and vengeance is born. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Mizraim shall not escape, but he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and Ethiopians at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go with great fury to destroy and utterly make away many. He shall also plant the tabernacle of his palace between the seas and the esteemed Kadesh mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Now you see, tidings out of the what? Out of the east, out of the north. Makes him worry. And now he begins to execute fury and kill. Revelation 11. I know we ain't even got to what we should be doing, but it's okay. Because it's a comprehensive deal anyway. We'll probably be talking about this one here for probably about 6 weeks. More than likely. Revelation 11 and 1. Revelation 11 and 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. And the Malachim stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple Elohim and the altar and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out. Measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles in the Kadesh city, and they shall tread underfoot 42 months. I will give unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days. So you know how many days that is? That's 3.5 years. That's why I mentioned that again. We were talking about them 13 months. That's why I asked y'all that. Because I knew eventually, whether it was today or another time, it was going to come up. That 360 days in a year, that's 3 times 360. It's going to give you 1,080. You put the rest of that in, you got 180. You got 1,260. These are the 2 olive trees, the 2 candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth. That's Zechariah chapter 4. For those who don't know, you have to go check that for yourself. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceed out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut Shamahim, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. Power that was given to Elijah. And have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. Power that was given unto Moses. And when they have finished their testimony, the beast that ascend out of the bottomless pit, which you just seen in Revelation 17, shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified, Jerusalem. Because why would the 2 witnesses of Yahuwah prophesy anywhere else but in Jerusalem?
Is that why you were saying people were liking them unto Elijah and Moses?
That's why people do that. And the people, and they of the people, kindreds, tongues, and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, make merry, send gifts to one another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. After 3 days and a half, the Ruach of life from Elohim entered into them. They stood upon their feet. Great fear fell upon them which saw them. They heard a great voice from Shamahim saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to Shamahim in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. In the same hour there was a great earthquake, and 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake was slain men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave esteem to Elohim and Shamahim. This is the second woe is past. Behold, the third woe come quickly. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's here. Now the beast get to rocking and rolling. See, that's ugly right there, so we don't like to talk about that. Let's get this Zechariah 4 out of the way. Ezekiel 4 out of the way. Excuse me. We won't get to Ezekiel 5 today. We might. This chapter ain't that long. Before I start that, I am in verse 8 of Ezekiel chapter 4. Behold, I will lay bands upon you. You shall not turn from one side to another till the end of the days of your siege. Take you also unto you wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, fitches, and put them in one vessel. How many of y'all done bought that bread? bought the cereal, the bagel. Oh, y'all don't know what I'm talking about? The Ezekiel 4:9, that would have literally say on the package. Any of y'all done brought that Ezekiel 4:9? I had the cereal. It wasn't that bad. No sugar added. Just the cereal. Take you also unto you wheat, barley, beans, lentils, millet, and fitches. Put them in one vessel and make you bread according to the number of the days that you shall lie upon your side. 390 days shall you eat thereof. And your meat which you shall eat shall be the weight of 20 shekels a day from the time that you shall eat it. You shall also drink water by measure, the 6th part of a hin from time to time you shall drink, and you shall eat it as barley cakes, and you shall bake it with dung that come out of a man in their sight. And Yahuwah said, oh, you good, Brother Reynolds? Slow, man. And Yahuwah said, even thus shall the sons of Yasharal eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, where I drive them. Now, you know what you're looking at with that? See, we eating defiled bread right now because you're eating the defiled word. See, the man ain't no lie. You're eating a defiled word. Right in the places where amongst the Gentiles where you dwelling at. That's how you know these people ain't Edomites, because he said you'd be doing it amongst the Gentiles, and he told you that the Gentiles would take you up out of Jerusalem. That's it. Okay. They don't want to hear that. You're going to be eating that bad bread in the land of the Gentiles, in the aisles, where your fat boys. And he said, Yahuwah Elohim, behold, we ain't got to read all that there of him talking about, hey, man, I ain't never ate no boo-boo bread. In that bad bread. Shoot, they ain't just in them churches. They in them camps and assemblies and corners eating that bad bread. Shoot, some of y'all used to like snorting that bad coke. I'm making sure I'm not trying to make sure you ain't took you away. I'm just making sure now. We got to make sure. Because somebody going to want to come and run your cat facts. We got to make sure it's clean. Or any man, if you got some sense, so that's where a nigga be messing up at. They be getting with women, you don't run the cat facts, the whole facts, the vaginal facts, none of that. Better do a background check, nigga. Nigga been done found out your wife be a bust down. You looking crazy. But the last thing a man want to find out is that your wife used to smoke rocks and get passed around the neighborhood. It happens. She done cleaned herself up. He don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Your girl was the girl in high school that everybody hit in the bathroom. The office whore. Y'all act like y'all don't know women do this type of stuff and clean themselves up, and here comes some unsuspecting fool. He don't know. Then the next thing you know, he walking down here. They used to call you jawbone. Now he upset. Now I remember. I didn't want to have to happen to them. That's crushing to a man. That nigga gonna go in the back and be like this here. Put on some doggone linen. Sad with a bottle of that brandy. XO too. And just sipping. And he just sitting there thinking, well, I'm gonna kill this hoe. I'm gonna kill her. That's embarrassing. Well, I done seen that happen. Niggas be out in public, boy. Niggas be snickering at a nigga, man. Laughing. Man, nobody want to be, man, no man don't want to be walking around here around a whole bunch of dudes. They done had your wife. See, y'all women, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't care if y'all walked in the room. Oh, I slept with him before. You don't care. That don't bother you. How did? No, it don't. Because if that nigga ain't know you, that junk don't bother you. That don't have no effect on you. That nigga slept with that woman 10 years ago. That junk don't bother you. Y'all just say that there because you jealous about nothing. That shows the insecurity in your own self. But for a man, that junk is horrible. If that nigga walk in the room and his 4 or 5 niggas done banged his wife, because see, you're a receiver. You're not a giver. These men receive these men into your body. That's way worse. That's way worse. You know what I'm talking about? That's way worse. You walk around here mad because a nigga had sex with somebody when he was 16 and you met him at 27, you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? That junk different if a man walk in the room, it's a nigga had you when you were 16, a nigga when you were 22, a nigga when you were 25, that nigga like, well, damn, how many more niggas had you? That nigga like, dang, boy, I done made the wrong choice.
Made to have a daddy, boy.
What? Hey, man, imagine niggas like this here. Your wife was the train. She was CSX.
Right?
Midnight train to dog. Look here, boy. There's a lot of freak hoes I went to school with. They got husbands. What's a girl I know right now, boy? She done seen more penises than a correctional officer, boy, and she got a husband. You understand me? I ain't exaggerating, boy. Ain't no woman. The reason why I say that, why that John don't bother women, because it's the reverse. Because the more women that a man been with, you look at it that he is desirable. See, don't no woman want no man that don't nobody else want. Because then she gonna be looking at herself. Am I unattractive? Because why? I'm the only nigga want this nigga. Yeah, I ain't never met a woman in my life. I want an ugly nigga that nobody don't want. No, she don't. She want a nigga that she can be able to say, look at my nigga. He look good. He got status. He got money. You want to be able to brag about the man that you got. That's why no woman don't want no fat, sloppy nigga. Unless he got some money. Then she don't care. See, that's the difference. A man don't want no fat woman unless he can't get no woman. Then shoot, the fat woman will do. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Now, nigga, I be trying to tell you stuff that really going on in real life, because nigga be lying. And if a man been living long enough, he know that. Don't no woman want no man that don't nobody want. Because that's why dudes always would be perplexed that girls wouldn't give him no attention. Then he get a girl. Now all of a sudden they give him an attention, because now they want to know what is it about you that made her want you. Yeah, I'm intrigued now. I wasn't intrigued before because nobody wanted you. You didn't seem desirable. Now you seem desirable. I'm intrigued. Let me ruin it. Let me go ruin it.
I want to be humble.
Yeah, let me go ruin it. Look at you. He look at you. You was the one. Let me go ruin it. That's when they hit you with, oh, he was in my inbox. He used to talk to me. You ain't want that boy. You don't want that boy. It's just now the competition done clicked in that come in y'all brain. Now you feel like this here. Because I'm telling you, as a jit, I used to see niggas say that, bro, these hoes would never talk to me, bro. Now I get me a whole lady, they all in my face. He confused. Because you wasn't desirable. That's why you see one dude and he got, if women see that he's desirable and he got multiple women chasing after him. Because no woman don't want no dude that nobody wants. Because she makes that about her and her desirability. She go to wonder, nobody want this nigga? Am I ugly? What's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? And men don't think that way. Men know if I'm broke, I ain't getting no hoe. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, unless I got some style about me, or I'm just extremely handsome, or this, that, that, and the third. If I ain't got no money, the likelihood is low. That's why a lot of niggas be broke and try to be fresh everywhere they go, because at least they can look like they got something and still get smoked. But also you have to look at, are they getting that from low-hanging fruit?
I can show you how to look like money.
No, hold on. See, Paul. No, that's like this here, though. Paul, like this here, right? But you got to understand. Y'all know what low-hanging fruit is, right? Y'all know what that is? Taylor, you know what that is? Low-hanging fruit. No. This is what low-hanging fruit is. Low-hanging fruit is men or women of very low value that are easy for you to attain. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a man who ain't got nothing going on, but you say you getting a lot of women, usually it's low-hanging fruit. It is women who are not of great value, so it is very easy for you to get the level of intercourse that you desire. A woman who don't have much going on, she get low-hanging fruit by getting very low-caliber men. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you'll have people say, well, I get a lot of attention, or I don't get no problem. This is low-hanging fruit. These are people who are easy to get. Because when you have to talk about those really beautiful women, you usually can't get them unless she feel like it's a situation she can dominate. But that's another conversation. You know what I'm talking about? But then you got dudes. See, dudes will sleep with anything. Most dudes don't have no standards. You know what I'm saying? Most dudes don't have no standards. Most dudes don't value their seed enough to say, I wouldn't dare lay with you. That's why women get offended when they get rejected, because it rarely ever happens. Y'all rarely have ever offered vagina to someone who turns you down and said, I don't want your body. You can keep it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you offered your body to a man and he said, no, I'm good, you'll be ready to stab that nigga. You'll be wondering what's going on. I wager none of you have been turned down when you offer some type of sexual offerings and you had no dude tell you he was good. Offerings, any type of sexual activity. What you mean? You offering fellatio? You're offering coitus? Offering a hand job? That's an offering.
I knew what you said that.
What you mean? If you be like, you want to have some sex, you offer. And y'all see sometimes, listen, right? When y'all, at the end of the day, listen. Hey, calm down, relax. All y'all done offer sex to a nigga. It's just you just didn't come out and say, let's have sex. You own money. You have your way of doing it. It's not like every dude you came to just pulled his penis out and said what you want to do. You understand what I'm telling you? And none of you have been turned down. Have you had a man turn you down? I'm talking about just sexually. I'm not talking about a dude wanting to talk to you, be with you in a relationship. 99.9% of women have never been turned down.
You always said, yeah. You always said, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all relax. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Most women have never been turned down. How would you feel if you was primed and ready for sex and a man turned you down? That's going to bother you. But see, men of high caliber turn women down. We're not talking about a person you with. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about once you get married. I'm talking about because y'all was out here tooting and booting and you wasn't married. Let's just be real. Well, we know that. But we're not talking. Y'all going to the extreme. You're being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous. Yeah, but that's being ridiculous. Y'all going to the extreme. We're talking about somebody that you knew that you wanted to have sexual relations with, and he turns you down and said no. That you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And that does not happen to y'all. Men get turned down a lot. You know what I'm saying? And when you dealing with what I'm talking about is when you dealing with low-hanging fruit, they not turning it down. If you hit a dude up that you were messing with and you say, hey, slide through to the house tonight, I want to do this, that, there, and the third, and he tell you no, you ain't gonna know what to do with that. Because that doesn't happen. Because guess what most women believe? No man's turning down sex. But there's men who are at the top end of the scale, they'll turn you down. They'll turn you down. Look here, right? I told you this before. If I had an opportunity for money or vagina, nigga, bump your vagina. I'm going to get that money. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to have sex with you over no money. I'll take that money. Every time. 100 out of 100. I'm talking about in life, period. That's right. Now, see, you know what? Hold on, y'all. Calm down. Now, see, Sean hit the nail on the head. What happens? When men turn women down, the first thing they do is say he gay. Because that is the doggone, because you've been rejected. We already know. Now, brother Kane here said, if he turns her down, then Sis gonna call him dumb and probably don't like her, just like he said he ain't a real man. Because that doesn't happen because y'all are not accustomed to men who value themselves more than they value having sex. And that's the point.
I've been turned down. I wasn't happy.
Sade just admitted it. She said she'd been turned down before and she was not happy about it because it is rare. You know the men who turn down sex are men who are about a purpose and desire to do things greater than wasting time having sex with you. Yeah, because y'all believe your vagina is so great that how could a man turn it down? It ain't got nothing to do with a woman's beauty. It ain't got nothing to do with her body. If he has a purpose that he is dead set on, he ain't trying to be fooled up, wasting no time having sex with no women. He ain't trying to chase no women. He ain't trying to waste time laying with no women, because all it takes is one time to get somebody pregnant, and he'll be like, you know what? My mission is greater than the momentary amounts of pleasure that I'm going to have with you. So I'm going to focus on what I got going on versus having sex with you. That's men at the top of the scale. Most women don't encounter men at the top of the scale that are that focused and driven that they are not moved by having sex. That's what I mean by low-hanging fruit. No, I just told him low-hanging fruit is a nigga who hit anything. He ain't got nothing going on. He may have something going on, but he puts sexual pleasure better than what he got going on.
I think the point of like the low-hanging fruit and the low-hanging fruit is the money. That's what makes it low-hanging. Like on the tree.
Yeah, it's easy to get.
Right. Low-hanging fruit. But
yeah, it's easy to get. Yeah, it's low-hanging fruit. It's easy to get. Them dates that was in the front yard at my house, that's low-hanging fruit. You can easily go pick.
But on the tree though, why is the fruit low-hanging?
It doesn't matter why it's low-hanging. It's the fact that it's low-hanging and you can get it.
I would just say it's on a weak branch, bro.
Now I know this like the same. Listen. Hey, hold on. I want y'all to calm down because I want you to understand. I didn't mention this for no reason. I mentioned this for a reason because of what we're looking at. Because this whore is able to get low-hanging fruit because of what she has to offer. And people will put their spiritual ideals to the side because this is easy to get. That's what low-hanging fruit is. It's something easy to get. Women of a higher caliber and men of a higher caliber are not easy to get. You can't get a man of a higher caliber by showing booty cheeks, thighs, and titty splits. He ain't moved by that because he see titties every day. He got women offering themselves to him every day. He ain't moved by that. He ain't moved by that. Most women, when they don't have nothing to give, the only thing that they can offer is their body. That's so they don't know what to do when a nigga say, nah, baby, I'm good. I don't want to have sex with you. And y'all got it in y'all mind, whether instinctually or culturally, that no man will turn down sex. Because you rarely have encountered it, irregardless if you dealt with a small number of men or a mass number of men. You have very rarely had a man turn you down. It doesn't happen often because most men don't value themselves enough to say, I don't give a damn about a woman and what she wants. I'm focused on this. This is why the text tells you, do not give your strength to a woman and to be focused on what you got to do. This is why I've always told every man in this room. Hold on. Sharon said he had a woman that he used to know and asked him recently, I think we should sleep together. I was like, I don't do that no more. Eyes on the goal, death to the flesh. But this is the point. Who is it? You know what I'm saying? I mentioned this for a reason, right? As a man, your woman should come no higher than third. She really should be in that fourth slot. You know what I'm talking about? Because Yahuwah should be number one. You know what I'm talking about? You should be number two. Your purpose should be number three. And the brethren should probably be number four if you don't decide to put your wife, because you're going to have to rely on your brethren when things get real. You're not going to be able to rely on her. I'm talking about if you in the word. Because remember, what does the word say a brother is? He is a strong defense. So when you got things going on, you got to rely on him. That doesn't mean that you put your brothers before your spouse. We're talking about the brotherhood. So that's a different conversation. See, putting your brother before your woman and putting the brotherhood before your woman is another thing. A woman can't come in between the brotherhood. That can't happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Because what does the text tell you? You better let what continue?
Brotherly love.
He say how beautiful it is to see brothers dwelling in what? Unity. So that's a different conversation.
That's a different type of love.
That's a different conversation. That's when you go to talking about what Jonathan and David had going on, that they had a love that surpassed the love of women, that nothing was going to come in between the brotherhood. When you talking about a brotherhood, you talking about a brotherhood of believers. They can't be separated. But if you move the brotherhood out of the place, that woman got to be for it. Because your purpose and yourself and your God got to come before her. How you found me?
Who? Martin? Open up the door, Mark.
You smell like bleach.
I'm clean now.
You been playing with some bleach? You got to sit right here. You just don't want to do it. Come over here to Psalms 137. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Because at the end of the day, y'all don't want no man who gonna put you first nowhere. Not over what he ought to be doing. You view it as weak.
Ain't stake no more. Ain't stake no more.
If I was.
I know long.
I was.
So it said, by the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. Little muffin. Come on. Come on then. Come on then. Come on then. He say, for they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us sing unto us the songs of Zion. How shall we sing Yahuwah's song in a strange land? What's Yahuwah's song? The song of Moses. How you gonna sing that in a strange land? Because when they sang it where? In the wilderness. And when, according to Revelation, when they gonna sing it again? At the land, at the end. Brother Reynolds just put it up there for you. He say, if I forget, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget. If I do not remember you, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Now, we talked about a lot of different things as forth is coming towards the back end. So we have to take all of it. Coming into Babylon the first time, dealing with Babylon the second time, and seeing those who love Yahuwah, that they remembered her above everything. If you remember Jerusalem above your chief joy, that means that you put Yahuwah first. Because remember what we talking about, what we transcending from, which is what? The tribe of Judah, which he loved, and the Mount Zion, which he chose. And where do we see that Mount Zion is? That's the city of what? David. Where is it located? Jerusalem. Remember that? You seen that in Chronicles when he took it? And how long did he reign in Jerusalem? 33 years. How many years was he in Hebron? 7. I can't recall off the top of my head. I think Manasseh had the longest reign of any king of the house of Yasharal of Judah. So David reigned for 40 years and Manasseh reigned for 55. But I could be mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Come on. They keep messing with you. Come on, then. He says, oh, remember, O Yahuwah, the sons of Edom in the days of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Now we're going to have to take that. Yahuwah willing, next week, we have to cross-reference this against that, against the book of Obadiah. We got to cross-reference this against the book of Lamentations, because this is mentioned there also. Book of Obadiah be easy for you to find because it's only one chapter. You have to, I want to say that's in Lamentations chapter 3 or 4 with Edom. Matter of fact, it's chapter 4. Let me verify. Sit down for a second, little muffin. I'm right here, little muffin. I ain't going nowhere. You act like I'm finna drop y'all. There it is. Come on to Lamentations 4 and 21. Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwell in the land of Uz. The cup shall pass through unto you. You shall be drunken and shall make yourself naked. The punishment of your iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. I will no more carry you away into captivity. He will visit the iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover your sins.
That's what I just seen for raising means.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's look at it for the raising part. Oh, Little Muffin, you don't even know how to read. You don't know how to read, Little Muffin. Raise it is a ra, which is to be bare, to be nude, to uncover. Ayin, Rosh, and Hay. So they were asking for the foundation of your sins to be shown. So that's why he say the same thing that they asked for you, let that be done unto them. See, I think I mentioned that to you last night when the brother was like, eye for an eye or turn the other cheek, and it's both of them. When you have understanding, it's both of them. You let Yahuwah handle the first, and you do the latter. Because when you do the latter, Yahuwah going to do the former.
Come here, Carl. Come here.
Listen to this one here, because this is what President Obama's pastor said, and they got mad. He said, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy that rewards you as you served us. Happy that take and dash your little ones against the stones." Did we not just read that? How their little ones would be dashed? If you don't know what dash is, it's nafats, and that is to pulverize and to dash into pieces, and also to scatter and disperse. Children shall be killed. And you know why children shall be killed? Because they killed yours. Hey, you cut it out. Ain't nobody got time for that, what you got going on. So hallelujah for Yahushua and word. We'll start that right there. Well, y'all willing, we'll get to Jeremiah 39 on Wednesday. Well, go on over there with your mama then. Go on over there with your mama then. I appreciate y'all. Bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Did everybody understand all that this afternoon? Because I know we really went more towards the end, on the back end. We got a lot of stuff to do. I think it's about a couple Psalms that refer to the destruction of Babylon. Let me get them for you, because we probably intersperse all three. Shalom, man. Yeah, we got you got Psalms 87, and so just two. We got Psalms 87, Psalms 137. So you can take you a look at Psalms 87 and Psalms 137, which we in right now. And that's what we're going to do. Like I said, Jeremiah chapter 37 to 52. You can grab your Isaiah 47 and look that over if you wish. Also Isaiah 34. Those are just the things off the top of my head that you are permitting that I know that we're gonna be looking at in the course of what we're dealing with. Still referencing everything back to Matthew chapter 1 and Luke chapter 3. But again, blessings out to Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. You who are willing to the next